This might not be the podcast for you, man. If you're not willing to open your mind and learn about what happened in the ancient past, if you want to go to some old wives' tales and fairy tales, this ain't gonna be the podcast for you, buddy. You must well go ahead and move on. All right, we're not scared like that. Over here, over here we're learning. Over here we're expanding consciousness. Over here we're exploring and asking questions and looking for connections. We're not into all that. It must be Satan. It's demons. We're not into that. That's for babies. That's for spiritual babies. If you're a spiritual baby, just get off of this. Just get off of this podcast. You can't handle this. This knowledge is too powerful for you because it's tearing down your belief system and it's ripping your soul out of your body. It's scaring the hell out of you. And if that's the case, just go ahead and move on, man. Go watch something else. Go watch ESPN or the Olympics, whatever. Go find something else to do. Go play with your kids, something, go talk to your wife or your whatever. But don't hang out on here because we're not into all that scary, spooky stuff. All right? We're too mature for that now. Those days are over. Okay? All that blind faith stuff and that demons are scaring us. Those days are coming to an end. Okay? Your days are numbered. Bible thumpers, your days are numbered. Y'all are the last, or maybe 2 generations more, and y'all be done. People are asking questions and waking up nowadays. It ain't no more of this crazy stuff. We're not into the psychosis anymore. All right, we're beyond that. We're beyond that stage. Our minds are so far advanced and so capable of understanding higher concepts and exploring different information. It doesn't scare us anymore. We've got rid of the boogeyman called the devil that can whisper in your ears and trick you and beguile you and all that crazy shit. We're done with that. Those days are over. All right, just move on to something else. Thoth says, not as the little men of the present age did, but the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die. But rather from eon to eon did they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. Now that's an interesting statement. He's talking about the river of life. Listen to what he says here. He says, not as the little men of the present age did, but the mighty ones of Atlantis live and die. He said, rather from eon to eon, that's thousands of years he's talking, did they renew their life in the halls of Amenti, where the river of life flows eternally onward. Now, this river, I've been researching, what is this river that they're talking about, this river of life? And I found this river of life information in biblical texts where Jesus is talking. He says almost the same thing that Thoth says, except Jesus was 2,000 years ago and Thoth was 36,000 years ago. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Jesus says in the New Testament, book of John 7:38, he that believes in me, out of his being shall flow rivers of living water. Thoth says, where the river of life flows eternally onward. It's the same exact statement. Pretty interesting. It's the same exact statement. Why does Jesus' statement align with what Thoth says? Because he was either a student of Thoth, either he is Thoth, or maybe, like I suggested in the beginning of this talk, maybe a relative, like a son, potentially. The teachings of Yeshua were the teachings he learned in Egypt when he went to go learn the Egyptian mysteries. He's saying the same things because this is the source that he learned it from. In these passages, we can already see that the tone is set for reincarnation and regeneration, very similar to the biblical statement in 2 Corinthians 5:2-7. We grow weary in our present bodies, and we long to put on our heavenly bodies like new clothing. For we will put on heavenly bodies. We will not be spirits without bodies. That's in the Bible. Let me say that again. We will not be spirits without bodies. While we live in these earthly bodies, we groan and sigh, but it's not what we want to die and get rid of in these bodies. We want them to clothe us. Rather, we want to put on our new bodies so that these dying bodies will be swallowed up by life. God himself has prepared for us this, and as a guarantee, he has given us the Holy Spirit. So we are always confident, even though we know that as long as we live in these bodies, we are not at home with the Lord, for we live by believing, not by seeing. So in the biblical text, they're already talking about the fact that when you die, you will be reincarnated into a new body. You're not going to be some floating light spirit with no body. It clearly states that you're going to get a new body. They said you won't be a spirit without a body, 2 Corinthians. Now, what is a human being right now? A human being is a spirit with a body. You are a spirit first that is inhabiting a physical body in the third dimension. What it's saying here in 2 Corinthians, they're alluding to the fact that they understand that there is a reincarnation process. That even after you, quote unquote, pass on to your next life, the spirit also then again longs for some type of a corporeal body, or they're alluding to the fact that they're looking forward to putting on their new corporeal body. Interesting. Just showing you how some of these texts from religious books line up with ancient teachings, and most likely it was taken directly from ancient teachings. Okay. Could Thoth and Jesus, aka Yeshua, be the same person? Or could he have learned from Thoth, the Atlantean, or Tahuti, right? Same person. In my book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, I literally break down verses from the Bible and verses from the Emerald Tablets, and I put them side by side. And as you go down, you begin to say, wait a minute. If this is ancient text, and this is only 2,000 years old, it's not even 2,000. 2,000 years old is a farce, because we know the Bible was written between 100 AD to 900 AD by Phoenicians, followers of Tahuti. So if we know that, then we have to say which comes first, the chicken or the egg. If the compendium of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth were written 36 or 38,000 years ago, and then we have Yeshua, aka Jesus, saying the same thing, right? Thousands and thousands of years later, he either is Tahuti or he learned from him. And that's where I go into my lecture, where I'm talking about where did Jesus go when he disappeared from the Bible? In the Bible, he's gone. Age of 12, poof, he's gone. Where did he go? He goes to Egypt. And when I take people on these grand tours of Egypt, I take them to the place where Jesus actually slept, where he lived for some time in Coptic Cairo. The bed that he slept in is a shrine that's still there till this very day, and it's guarded. And so he went to Egypt. Why did he go to Egypt? He went there to learn the Egyptian mysteries. From who? Tahuti. He was a student of Tahuti, right? So now, when we say, could he either be Tahuti or is a student of Tahuti? Well, that's a much deeper conversation. That might be a whole other podcast, because this guy was such a wizard and magician. He had come back and incarnated at will over 10,000 lives, right? According to the Emerald Tablets, over the course of 100,000 years. Could he have gotten bored with that and said, I want to come through a womb of a woman and come out and see life as a human being and regain all my memory? So it's a possibility. But either way, he disappears out of the Bible at the age of 12. He goes to Egypt. He learns the Egyptian mysteries. Then there's a record of him going throughout Egypt into Nubia, and then even leaving there and going to Tibet. In Tibet, he learned how to heal with his hands. He learned the art of Qigong, Reiki, and all these other healing modalities through moving energy through the body. So he became a healer. Again, something that would be considered to be magic-like. And then from there, and that was confirmed by the Dalai Lama, by the way. Then he moved from there down into India, learning the mystic arts. Again, more quote unquote magic. And from there, teaching reincarnation all the way back to Egypt. And then from there, the Bible picks back up at the age of 32. He says, God says, I call my son out of Egypt. And then the next thing you know, he appears at the age of 32, riding in on the back of a donkey into Jerusalem. So that's the cycle. So this Jesus that people are worshiping all over the world, this guy was a student of the Egyptian mysteries, of Tibetan mysteries, and Indian mysteries. He learned magic, mystic arts, energy movement, all cymatic frequencies, and then he came back to teach the people. So we're talking about an understanding of these people who wrote a lot of the parts of the biblical text. They were writing from their perspective as well, based on other ancient texts where they got the information about regenerating bodies, getting new bodies, transferring consciousness into new bodies. This is what this is saying. It's talking about putting on a new sleeve, getting rid of the old sleeve and getting it hopping into a new sleeve. It said, we will not be spirits without bodies. So you're going to have a spirit and a body. Well, you right now have a spirit and a body. Nothing's going to change. And Thoth said, but in the time yet unborn, will I rise again, mighty and potent, requiring an accounting of those left behind me. Another interesting statement made by Thoth many thousands of years before Jesus tells his disciples that he will rise again in Mark 9:31. Then beware, O men of Chem, if ye falsely betrayed my teaching, for I shall cast ye down from your highest estate into the darkness of the caves from whence ye came. Betray not my secrets to the men of the north, or the men of the south, lest my curse fall upon thee. Remember to heed my words, for surely I return again, and I require thee which ye guard. Ay, even from beyond time and from beyond death will I return, rewarding or punishing as ye have requited your trust. In the biblical text of John 14:20, Jesus declares to his followers, I go away and come again unto you. Tell no one the Son of Man has risen again. Thoth says, for surely I will come again, betray not my secrets. This is the same stuff. Why is Jesus' stuff, or I call him Yeshua, that's his real name, why is it the same? Because he learned it from the same source. That's why he's reteaching. Just like if I become a physicist and I have a school and I'm a professor, I have students come and I teach my students. Some of those students will become professors, and they'll be saying the same things I taught them. This is the same scenario we have here.